interweb people! Oh no, that's Steve's job.
Carry on, just carry on. You're obviously taking over. You're taking over. It's nuts to you. I'll just lay back and do jack.
Right.
What is up, interweb people? Gutsy Cosplayer here, coming at you with yet another Talks Online. Joining me, as usual, Michael Lunatic, and today's guest, Jeremy!
Hello!
You actually did it!
She's gone on quiet now.
Can you still hear me?
We're good. Right, so Jeremy, welcome to Talks Online. How have you been? How have you getting on?
I've been good, just staying home, just being on TikTok for the past month or so, doing kind of nothing and everything.
Yes, you have TikToks, you have Instagrams, you have Facebook, your social media presence is everywhere.
Could you imagine if all this lockdown happened when no one was on social media?
We'd be so bored.
All the time.
Right, first question, it's going to be a cosplay related question. Why on earth is most of your social media's disaster trash cosplay?
Well, I used to, when I started cosplaying, I ran the account with my sister and we were Catastrophe Cosplay.
Yeah.
And then I wanted something different for the Instagram and I thought disaster trash sounded good.
Yeah.
And then when we split up Catastrophe Cosplay, I was like, I'm going to keep disaster trash because it feels like me and I'm a disaster and half of what I do is made from trash, so... Yeah.
made from trash and may turn out to be a disaster.
Yeah.
Very much. Right, so who are you as at the moment?
Winry Rockbow from FMA.
I have no idea what you just said.
Winry Rockbow from FMA.
What's FMA?
Yes.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, Full Metal Alchemist!
Oh yeah, sorry, Full Metal Alchemist.
We don't do abbreviations here, we're not very good at that.
That's alright.
Yeah, so Full Metal Alchemist, that's Edward, Elric and Alphonse, isn't it? The guy in the big armour.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the only bit I know about that is that they try to bring their mom back to life and it goes terribly wrong.
Yeah, it does.
They're two brothers who lost their mum.
It was the first anime I saw and I was just like, I just want to cosplay everyone because I just love this.
Have you seen the Netflix film?
Yes, I have. I thought, given that they made a film, they had such a short span, they did a really good job of getting plots in and stuff. And I love the fact that the actor who played Ed grew his hair and did all the stunts and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think they did a good job with it.
Yeah, it's always a plus.
Yeah, because with the live actions, especially anime live actions, they can go drastically wrong. And we won't mention the two that have gone drastically wrong in the past. Dragon Ball Evolution. Yeah.
Well, apparently they're doing a sequel for the Death Note one, and I'm just like, please don't.
Yeah, we find that when people put on Facebook and Instagram, oh, such and such is getting a live action, we're going, please don't screw this up. Please don't get it wrong. Please pronounce people's names properly.
I'm very thankful for the Netflix adaptation of Death Note because my wife enjoyed it, and she doesn't like anime or cartoons at all. She's annoying. But I've recently got her onto Pokemon the trading card game, so wow, nice. What's going on there?
Yeah, the whole Pokemon trading card game. My channel, I've recently put another overview video on, so it's shameless self-plug.
You gotta do it.
Yeah.
So, back to Full Metal Alchemist being your first anime, Jeremy.
Yeah.
What made you watch it in the first place?
My sister, she got into anime because of her boyfriend and then was like, watch this really cool anime that has 65 episodes. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, there's one thing you can do with people if they say, oh, I really want to get into anime, what should I watch first? And you go, One Piece.
Or you're like, Fairy Tail. Watch all of Fairy Tail.
Yeah, say watch One Piece. It's only 900 episodes. But still, somebody's probably going to be able to binge watch it in a week. Somebody will.
I'd like to see someone try.
Yeah. So if you've got you like your anime things like. Is there one particular anime other than like Full Metal Alchemist, like your absolute favourite one? Is there any one anime that you would actually binge watch?
Oh, Toward the Terror. It's a sci-fi anime made in 2007, and it is just, it's really well made, and no one really knows about it.
Mm.
And yeah, I discovered that one fairly early into watching anime, and then realized no one knew this anime, and was like, "But it's so good, you should all watch it."
So what's the anime
Yeah,
about?
It's about there's the Mew who are mutants, and then humans, and it's set in the future, and the Earth's just gone, and everyone's spread across the stars. And the main character he's about to take his test of adulthood. So he goes and takes the test and realizes that he has these powers and is like, what do I do? And then he gets taken off to space to be with the mutant people, and it goes on from there. I don't want to say too much because there's a lot to the plot, and it is got a very rich, dense plot and lots of good characters.
I like plot points in anime.
And you get like the human side and the Mew side throughout the story, so very balanced as well.
My go-to binge watch anime is the Tenchi Muyo series.
Oh, I've not seen that. What's it about?
You've not seen it? Oh, it's so fun. No, it's about a teenage boy, Tenchi, and he doesn't realise that his family is rather special. I'll say that. I'll say special. And one day, a rogue space pirate called Ryoko basically lands, because she's been chased by the space police, lands and tries to kill Tenchi for one reason or another. But then she gets stranded on Earth, and eventually Tenchi doesn't fall in love with her, but they become friends. But then she starts to have feelings for him, and the whole time this is going on, another person who's been chasing Ryoko, who just happens to be a space princess, lands to try and apprehend Ryoko, and then she decides to start falling in love with Tenchi as well, and you see where this is going.
So Steve,
it's got a lot more plot than just that. It's not anywhere close to like rudeness or anything like that. There are some subtle points that edge towards that, but my favourite character in there is a character called Ryooki. Now, Ryooki is a spaceship that can transform into a cabbit, and a cabbit is a cat rabbit, and he's adorable.
I don't know why, but I stand.
Yeah, it's brilliant. There's there's lots and lots of spin-offs things like that. There's like
it's been rebooted
the
a couple of times.
Tenchi. There's Tenchi Ryooki, and there's like another spin-offs like Tenchi in Tokyo, things like that. Those are spin-offs, but the main story follows that, and you see like a bit of Ryoko's past, a bit of the Space Princess's past. You find out the Space Princess's sister is not who she seems to be. So it's pretty good. I like it, and I could binge watch that in a day. I really could. There's only I've only got about maybe 30 episodes, but there's a lot more out there that I have watched. Oh, Michael, what's yours? What's your binge watch? What would you binge watch in a day?
Oh, in a day.
Well, if you could binge watch something, what would you do?
Probably the quintessential quintuplets.
Quintessential quintuplets.
Yeah, probably that, because I could do that all in a day, with my lifestyle. 13 episodes, gone easily.
Yeah, I love those animes.
But at the moment, I've just started the 4th series of High School DxD.
Yeah.
And I'm not looking at the animation style at the moment.
Yeah, for the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Helen did a photo shoot as Rias Gremery from that series, and there are some quite nice pictures. I have to say, I've actually got them in a little folder for me to look at when I want to. Let's put it that way. She does make a good Rias, because she steals my Grell wig, you see. So to use as that.
Mm.
So, yeah. So back to cosplay. What are you planning on doing when we can all go back to cons? Because it seems like all cons are now cancelled for the rest of the year.
Oh, there's so much choice now because I've been working on a few. Maybe I'll bring Amberlynn from 6.
Mm.
So I've started working on that for the past few months.
Yeah, so we've got time right now, haven't we?
Yeah, I've got plenty of time.
Yeah, I've got a few that I want to take to a con, but now I've got like four cosplays that I've got done, and cons are only like 2 days long, so it's like I don't want to change. So some of my cosplays I've got to wait even longer before I can get them done.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Obviously, us now getting into June, we are now well into Pride Month, so we'd like to now welcome you to the chat as a member of the LGBT community.
Woo, woo, woo.
You're our first member that's joined the Talks on online chat. If you don't mind telling us, what do you identify yourself as?
I identify as gender fluid, pansexual, and grey romantic.
Right. For those who don't know what that is, would you mind explaining?
Pansexual is attraction to all gender regardless of the person's gender.
Mm-hmm.
Gender fluid is not having a fixed gender identity and fluctuating between many or between two, and it just depends on the person.
Yeah.
And grey romantic is not often experiencing romantic attraction to people.
Right.
Okay.
So it's like the term asexual, where you don't actually like people for a sexual reason. You like them like as more of a friendship type of thing.
Yeah, but it's to do with romance.
Yeah, because I've recently been brought into the community as what's it called?
An ally.
An ally. Thank you. Yeah, I've been brought in as an ally because two of my friends are transsexual and pansexual. They're both the same, and I've had to learn a lot of this very, very quickly.
Yeah.
The way that I've been brought up, and I've always been brought up is the other way is like others as you want to be treated. So if people are nice to me, then I'm nice to them. It doesn't matter who you are or what you identify as. So can I ask, did you have any particular problems or any particular issues bringing that forward to people and actually making them aware of it?
Not so much, because I've never really had that many friends, and then the ones I have I'm really close to, so they really understand me and just they know me for me, so those things are not important. And a lot of them are LGBTQIA+, so it's, you know, there's not really so many bridges to cross. I am more anxious for people like yourselves who are like cisgendered and stuff, especially with the gender identity, because I think my worry is people won't think I'm valid because I often present very femininely and I'm female assigned, and it's like just because I look like that doesn't mean I identify as such, and I think that's where the miscommunication comes for me, but
I wouldn't worry
most of the
what
time
other
it's
people
pretty
think.
good.
I wouldn't worry what other people think.
No, I don't most of the time, but it's just sometimes it's like I'm having a bad day and then something on top of it will just be like, no, that's too much for today.
Yeah. So going into the gender fluid part of your identity, it's one of those things where like you wake up on a morning and you feel more feminine one day and then more masculine another day, and then you go from there.
Yeah, like I'll wake up and I'll be like, okay, what clothes am I feeling? Okay, I don't like that. That's a bit too masculine. Try that. Okay, maybe too feminine. And I'm like, okay, I'll go for this middle ground in between, and that's comfortable today. And then the next day might be completely different. So it's it's fun to work with.
there's no particular day where you like wake up and you think to yourself, right, today I am definitely going to identify as fully female.
Oh yeah, no, I have no idea till I look at my clothes. Then I'm like, they'll kind of guide me on what I'm feeling, and
it's what your brain tells you, isn't it? It's one of those things. I mean, obviously, if people don't realised that obviously I've got a lot of friends, and there are some family members that I have who are in the community, and they've struggled with what they identify as, and then all of a sudden they will talk to me about it, and then they'll feel a lot better because I'm accepting of that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's those types of people that you need to be around, that are accepting and are happy that you identify as who you identify as. I mean,
yeah.
The other end of the spectrum is that you'll have people who will say, no, that cannot be true. It's absolute falsehood. There are two genders. There, you are either a man or you are a woman. That is it. And it's those types of people you don't need to help with your thing, because they're not going to help. They're not going to.
No, those people just. I never have them on Facebook. I don't get around me.
I mean, even those people, I accept what they're thinking. I mean, obviously, I accept their opinion. Their opinion is their own. But it's the type of thing where you don't want to be around those people because you don't want that level of toxicity in your life. You need to be around people who do understand and are accepting.
Yeah, and I think the cosplay community is great for that.
Yes. Going back to what we were saying, obviously being around people who accept who you are and accept what you want to be, that's basically the whole LGBT ethos, is just be who you want and be accepting of others of who they are. And I don't understand why some people can't accept it.
They're just stubborn.
Yeah,
Steve.
some people, they're just like, there's two genders and this is the way things are, and I'm like, but people and things are continually changing, and that's the world we live in, and that's the thing you've got to learn.
Like a couple of years ago, there was only like straights and gays, and then a few years later it became straights, gays, and bisexuals. And a few years later,
the common
it's just
thing.
It's evolving.
Now it's everything,
It's evolving.
Yeah.
People are more open to talk about it, and they're like, actually, I don't actually feel the same as, let's say, number A or number B. I feel number C, and it's just evolved from there.
The conversation's in the forefront, which is nice now, and I think it's also, there is time for other elements of the LGBT community to move forward now, I think, like especially ace people and aromantic people, where that's largely been ignored, but people have always been like that, and it's just, that's now coming forward a bit more, and I think it's really good it is.
Well, I'm glad they added the plus at the end of it, because that way they don't have to add any more letters.
I think it's like 12 letters long, and I don't even know the full thing myself, and I'm like, I probably should.
Yeah, but it's obviously in my eyes, the LGBT abbreviation, that covers anybody who identifies as whatever they want. Obviously, they've got the Q, the I, the A, the plus, all on the end of it. That's fine. They can do that as they want. But to me, LGBT is the entire spectrum of gender identity and sexuality, isn't it?
Pretty much. I normally do add QIA because then you got ace and queer in, so it's everyone. But yeah, LGBT does cover most. So
yeah, I mean, when the news cover it and do things like that, it is LGBT because it's short, snappy, to the point. And obviously they've got the Q and the I and the A because they've obviously added that, and like I said, they've evolved over time to include those people in their spectrum, which I think is a great thing. I mean, yes, it will get to the point where it probably would be 15, 20 letters long, but eventually to that point it probably sound a bit silly.
Yeah, you'd think they just rename at that point and like make it something.
I think once you get to about 9 letters long, you need to rename it.
Yeah.
But it's the whole socially acceptable thing. I mean, when people say, like to us, like for me to use like who you identify as, it's not saying are you male or female, because to me, being male or female, that is your sex, that is what you were born as, and then your gender is what you identify as, and that's what you want to be. And to me, gender is up here. Your brain is telling you what you want to be.
And in here.
Oh God, yeah, and in your heart, obviously. Yeah. But at the end of the day, and this goes towards current things that are happening in the world right now, is that we all have a brain, we all have a heart, we're all human, and we should respect each other as human beings, not as males, females, LGBT members, race, anything like that. We should just accept for who they are, up here and in here.
Which is a shame.
And it's good when you're saying, yeah, sorry, you talk, Michael.
Sorry, but at the moment, you've probably heard about all the riots and a guy in America getting killed by the cop. It's a shame. It just doesn't seem like there's any respect, or there's not enough respect for other individual people in the world.
No, it's all about corporations and who can make the most money, and I'm like, we need to be moving to focusing on people and how individuals can change the world, and putting money into things that people can contribute to and make differences, and
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people with this whole thing that's going on at the moment. Obviously, I'm probably going to say something a little bit controversial, but obviously the whole hashtag Black Lives Matter thing that's going on at the moment. That is who needs our help right now. I mean, a lot of people are saying like all lives matter, or these lives matter, or these lives matter. Those aren't the ones in danger right now. So we need to
as much as Pride Month, it's like Black Lives Matter is the thing that we need to be focusing on.
That's correct. I mean, a lot of people are focusing on that rather than Pride Month, because that is what is happening right now. It's not LGBT members being targeted, it is people of colour. Yeah. They are being targeted.
No, it shouldn't. It's horrible. Well, I've been studying history at uni, and so we've been learning about the origins of slavery and the starting of America, and this goes back so far and is so in depth into American society, and it's how to untangle all of that is going to be so hard going forward, and it's just an ingrained system now.
I just hope after all of this that's been going on, things can change and things can move forward for the better. And obviously, I do have to say that obviously the Talks Online and Talks on Tour teams do not condone any racism in any way, shape or form. We find it absolutely disgusting and we do not condone it. Okay. Right, so going back to something a little bit more upbeat, going back to cosplays and things like that, is there a particular cosplay or series that you want to cosplay from that you haven't done yet?
Oh, that's a tough one. I want to cosplay from Tour de Terror because they have these long, majestic capes, and I'm just a sucker for a big cape.
No capes.
They turn in on the floor, and I'm like, you're just going to fall over at a convention, but it's worth it.
Yeah, but that's you have a massive cape on, but then you have all these Disney princesses with massive long train dresses.
Yeah.
It's like who can have the biggest piece of material on a cosplay? I mean, I know one person.
When you walk past Disney princesses. Sorry.
There was one person I know that did a tutu, actually made their own tutu, but it was 120 feet of fabric.
Wow.
Like crunched up into a tutu. And it was so dense, it was unreal. I've seen people come out with some really, really big, elaborate cosplays that have ended up being really tiny because of the fabric they've used, and they've just done it in a way that's it's like really cool. I mean, I'm not a fabric person. I'm not the fabric person in mine and Helen's relationship. I'm the prop maker. I like to build things. Helen will like go like thread and bobbin and fabric and puff clothing.
Oh yeah, that's me. I'm just always making something.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so if I did one like out of a series that I haven't done, I wouldn't know, 'cause I've done loads of different series. But it's like, who would I do? Oh, actually, I haven't done anybody from Bleach. I haven't done anyone from Bleach yet. I think I might do. Who's his name? The Quincy from Bleach. What the heck's his name? The guy who used the bow and arrow. I can't remember his name now. Somebody will comment on the thing and tell me who it is.
They'll let you know.
I know. It's either him or like the mad
scientist. Phone out like Google.
Yes, Google it quick. Oh, but yeah, I mean, we all have a lot of fun doing the whole cosplay thing. We do hope and pray we can get back to conventions really, really soon. Because obviously now, for me and Helen now, it's been nearly 9 months since our last convention.
There's one convention
we've
I've
missed
not
so
heard from
many.
yet, and that is
What one?
Linc-Con. Linc-Con haven't.
Yeah, I've
got a
heard
message.
nothing from them, and I'm like, I need to know because I need to know if I
That's
can
usually
come
on
back.
later in the year, about the same
Yeah.
time that Doki Doki is.
Yeah.
But we just
I
heard
mean,
from Doki Doki.
there are. Yes, Doki Doki have now officially cancelled for the year, so that one's no longer on.
I think MCM November's still going on at the moment.
We haven't heard anything from that yet, but we're
Yeah,
hoping
like at the moment.
if it is on, then the organisers have to be sensible, because nobody's been to a convention in theoretically 12 months, upwards of 12 months.
Oh, God.
So a lot of people are going to want to come to the convention just to experience the convention, and they don't want to overbook it, so they need to be really strict on their ticket sales.
Yeah.
Because if it's too crowded, people are going to get really, really pigged off with it.
And it has been getting busier the past few years at Birmingham.
It has. This is why on the Saturday I normally take my cosplay to show off on the Saturday. On the Sunday I'll have something that's a bit more relaxed, because Sunday's generally quieter. But the one con I haven't heard from yet is Wales. Normally goes on in December. The other one that's recently been moved to Telford.
Yeah, the Telford.
For the love of sci-fi.
No. This is Wales Comic Con in Telford. Normally like early December. Some of the viewers will know which one I'm on about. But they normally have lots of like sports personalities, like wrestlers and things like that, going to that one.
They do have a lot of good guests. A lot of good guests for the Comic Con that they have.
That's why the ticket prices are high. I think it's something like £40 to £50 for a ticket.
Worth it though.
It is worth it if you want to go and see those people. But that's something that we could potentially do. But again, that's December. So that's a good 7 months away yet. Good 7 to 8 months before that one. Normally they give you like 2 month notice. But the government have recently said that they can start holding things like football matches and things. But I presume that's going to be behind closed doors, or with very, very few occupants.
See, if MCM Birmingham did happen again, isn't a big enough venue to hold a certain amount of people with this 2 meter distancing stuff? I think the route would have to be, as the Comic Cons would have to start just selling the tickets online, and it's first come, first serve. When they reached a certain amount limit, they've got to say, "I'm sorry, you missed your chance. We can't have any more people. We can't have queues all outside the doors, because people will be queuing for hours."
At the end of the day, Comic-Con and people who run it, ReedPop, they are a business and they want to try and get as much money out of the event as possible. So they're not going to want to run a small convention when they're only going to get a small profit margin. They're probably going to want to wait until everything's cleared up. Potentially bring it back in March, for Birmingham in March. This is the first MCM of the year in March, and then go all out for it. But we'll just have to wait and see, and potentially... obviously from
hopefully by autumn things will be better, but we'll see. Because
the one thing I want to do is get back to work. I mean, now we're into like our 11th or 12th week, but I've been on lockdown now for about 8 weeks, because I was at work because of technicalities. Because I hadn't worked for the company long enough, but they reworked their system, and I was allowed to go on furlough and have time at home. Which
that's good.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing to have a lot of time at home. Obviously, I've been working with Helen to do costumes and get things done, and I've finally finished my my Ghastly Marvin matchup. He is now done.
Nice.
There is tiny little things, but they are so minuscule that I can do them like that, easy peasy.
Do them now.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So
I've been on lockdown since it started, so I got back from uni, had to leave uni really quickly, got here and went, oh, we're on lockdown now.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Yeah, but hopefully things start clearing themselves up. Hopefully the world will start to get itself back into some sort of routine again, and hopefully things that are happening in the world will calm down, and people can start getting back to their normal lives. Obviously, we can't just flick a switch and turn it all off, but hopefully we can move on and be better when we come out the other side.
Jeremy, we've got a few more minutes in this interview. Is there anything that you'd like to get off your chest?
Not really. I think it's just nice to have the escapism of things at the moment, which is why I'm mainly doing a lot of cosplay. And my worry is that people will think I'm not supporting the Black Lives Matter movement, but with everything that's happening in the world, my anxiety's been very high, so it's like taking the time to cosplay has been very therapeutic and very needed for me. But yeah, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is your dream cosplay that you could do?
Dream cosplays. Ooh.
Mine...
I would probably have to say my dream cosplay that I want to do that's in like my list of things to do is my my Trevenant from Pokemon. You know, the big ghosty tree.
Oh,
yeah.
I want to do him, but I want to do it in such a way. I want to do it in such a way where all of like the separated sections of him light up in some way to give him like an eerie green glow.
Didn't you say something about seasonal as well? Once you said, you mentioned it before, but something about being seasonal, so you can stick different coloured leaves on. And
yeah, I was thinking.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I was thinking about doing him a seasonal one, so like the summer one where he has like the normal green leaves on, that's his standard form, and then like the winter, I would take the leaves off, and I would go start a bare tree, and in the spring, instead of having leaves on, I'd have cherry blossoms everywhere.
That'd be cute.
The winter one, you could actually put lights around it, like
a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
You could do little robins on there.
Oh, Steve, you dropped out there
Sound
for a second.
out.
Oh, what a shame.
He
doesn't know yet. He doesn't know that he's dropped out and he's not saying anything. We can't hear you, Steve.
There's no sound.
We're not joking. We're not pulling your leg. You're mute. Leave the chat and come back in. we can't hear you.
I'm trying to lip read, but I'm not that good at it.
Oh, bless. Is he back? Yeah. There we go. We can hear him.
There we go.
That's better.
I have no idea. Where did I get up to before I went rogue?
About 10 minutes ago.
I can't remember.
Just after Trevor. Just after Trevor.
Seriously, that has never happened. I've never gone mute before. But seriously, where was I up to?
Just after Trevenant.
Did we get to the spring, summer, autumn, winter thing?
Yeah.
Yes, we were talking about that.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. I don't know how something went after that.
Well, my dream cosplay will be the Tick.
Go for it.
The blue thing.
The Tick from the Amazon Prime series.
Isn't that the same guy who voices Joe Swanson on Family Guy?
That's the old Tick, the original one.
Damn it, wrong one. Hey, at least I know something about it.
It's a very, very good spoof.
Yeah, we'll put that out. We'll put that to the audience as well. What their dream cosplay is, what they could do if they wanted to.
Yeah, mine's the Bull Queen from Star Trek.
Oh, which one?
Trying to make the whole from First Contact.
Alice Krieger.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Have you ever met her? Have you ever been to DST? Destination Star Trek.
I met her before Destination Star Trek. I only met her like in passing. She was walking one way, I was walking the other, and I just said like good morning, Alice, and she's like, oh, good morning, and then that was it.
Yeah.
But I have spoken to her, but I'd love to meet her again though.
Yeah, she's so nice. She did a talk last year, and it was just really cool, and didn't get to go to the last one, but I went to the one before.
Yeah. So you got tonic water. Where's the gin?
Water. I'm actually on sips, non-alcoholic gin because I've been drinking far too much.
Well, considering how many different drinks you've had in these talks. Right. So yeah. So we're going to leave Michael to his drinking. John,
I haven't got a
it's been
problem.
pleasure.
Honestly, I haven't got a drink problem.
It's fine. I've just been eating too much. I keep going to buy sweets, and I'm just like, this will help the day.
Yeah, so obviously, Jeremy, we thank you very much for joining us. We thank you for your input on the LGBT community and Pride Month. So, so everybody out there, obviously, stay safe in what you're doing. If you do go out for any reason, please stay safe. If you go to any types of rallies, anything like that, behave yourself.
No touching. No touching.
And everybody out there, obviously, if you are part of the LGBT community, happy Pride Month. Please have a bit of fun, show your support to people, respect other people for their beliefs and what they identify as, who they are, and that's pretty much that.
And subscribe to Talks Online or Talksontour.
Yes, subscribe to Talks Online. We always do that.
Yeah.
So, guys, like I said, we're going to thank you for watching the video. Subscribe to the Talksontour. Like the video, go over to Jeremy's Instagram pages. I'm absolutely certain they will love the attention, and we will see you in the next video. Toodles!
Bye!
There we go. I always get stuck on things like that. Pronouns are my weakness, unfortunately.
Nah, it's alright. It's one of those things where you explain they, them to people, and it's like, okay, have a conversation, everything's Gucci. You doing alright there, Michael?
Fine. Yeah, he's still frozen. He's not actually frozen, he's just not moving. He's very good at doing that. He's very good at looking like he's doing nothing.
Just like...
You've been talking to my boss at work, haven't you, Steve?
Yeah.